up? This is your Cosmic Homegirl, and I'm giving you guys a forecast, aka what the cosmic weather report is for the week of May 24th of 2020 through May 31st of 2020. So, hope everybody is doing good out there. As always, I have to say, I hope you guys are staying Rona free. Hope everybody's healthy, especially as the world is slowly opening back up. I hate to say I told you so, but what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys back in March and April? That as these planets go retrograde, especially Saturn, the world is going to slowly start opening up again. But it ain't going to be smooth sailing, though. Retrograde planets, they can cause some ruckus. They could bring the mother ruckus like Wu-Tang. So, it's a little shaky out there, but I guess, they're trying to figure everything out and get everything right. But in the meanwhile, I hope everybody's doing okay. I will have June 2020 forecasts for each sign available in the next week or so, for you guys to purchase on my website, and I will post all the details as soon as I have that available. I'll also be doing a video for the month of June, giving you guys a preview of like what that month is like. We're still gonna have Venus retrograde the whole month. She's gonna end up going direct in the month of June, and then she's going to be in her post retrograde shadow period, meaning she's still trying to get back to normal. Even once she goes direct, it's not like woohoo, everything is just like dope again with Venus, with love, with money. No, she's gonna be a little shaky for a second. Okay, so the month of June still has that. Just a little sneak preview. It's we still have her. We have Mercury going retrograde in Cancer. Oh my God, the tears and the feels. I already see them pouring out, y'all. So just prepare for that. And we have two eclipses. We have one the first week of June, and then we have one in mid-June. So June is going to be a really big month for us to talk about. So just stay tuned. I'll have that forecast for you guys in the next week or so also. And people have been asking me when I'm going to open up again to do readings. I still have a lot of catching up to do with some of my current clients that are in queue. So once I get everything situated and figure out my life over here too, because I told you, Uranus, he really makes every day different. One day your life could be something, and on the next day lightning strikes and it's like, woo, so you thought, bitch. Let me throw you over here. And I'm like, oh my God. And as somebody who thrives on consistency and routine in order to stay sane, even though I've got Uranus in the first house, I still can be like very Uranian in nature, to where I do need some spontaneity in life, but I have to be in control of the spontaneity. You know what I'm saying? It's like I choose to be spontaneous, so bam, here it is. But when life throws me into spontaneous situations, I'm so thrown off, and that's how life has been. So I'm like, I don't know what the is going on. Oh my God. Anyway, sorry for the little rant. But once I get life figured out, I will let you guys know when I'm open again to accept new clients for readings. Okay. Trying to get everybody, this retrograde is really, making me get everybody taken care of that I have to still take care of, all my peepo. And in the meanwhile, hey, I'll still get you guys the freebies, and I'll do the monthlies for you guys too. Okay, so watch out for those. Anyway, sorry I'm rambling so much. You guys know there's a big ass Gemini party in the sky. Okay, and we are all affected by this. We still have the sun, Venus, Mercury, the North Node. They're all chilling in Gemini for a hot minute. The moon is actually going to switch signs into Cancer on the 24th, and is going to stay in Cancer till the 26th. So the moon is like our mood, it's our attitude, it's how we feel, it's expression of emotion and things like that. So the moon being in Cancer is making us want to just be swaddled in a blankie, being fed, or just being comfy, just want to cuddle if you have anybody to cuddle with, and you just want your mommy if you have a mommy figure around, or even if you don't, you may be like craving that like maternal energy from someone, or you may be feeling like nurturing others, cooking, baking, putting on your little apron or whatever. And look, honey, I baked you some cookies. You might have that type of a vibe going on. Susie Homemaker vibes big time when the moon is in Cancer. Emotions are on high when the moon is in Cancer too. So just be aware of that for yourself and other people. The moon in Cancer, yeah, through from the 24th through the 26th. Honestly, you guys, there's not too many major planetary transits this week. I'm mostly going to talk about the moon transits because they're the only ones that are like popping, like changing. But there's other ones that are lingering to still address. But, I've addressed them every week and I have like whole videos dedicated to them. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on them. But yeah, the moon is in Cancer, the 24th, the 25th. But once we get to like the 25th, the 26th, especially the 26th, the moon does make some important aspects. It makes some important angles to other planets. Like, it's going to be making an opposition to Pluto and an opposition to Jupiter. So that does create an energy that is a little more intensely emotional. Maybe some paranoia can increase because Cancerian energy, Cancers could be some big worry warts. Like the biggest worry warts of the zodiac are Cancer and Virgo energies. They're the biggest. Like some other signs can have elements of that too, but like Cancer and Virgo are the biggest worry warts. Oh my gosh, worrying about the future. And Scorpio too. Scorpio has paranoia big time. So those three signs, like super paranoid, super anxious, worried. So anyway, we have the moon opposing Pluto and opposing Jupiter. So it's like both these energies blended together make, there can be an increased worry about things, worry about what's going to happen next, and maybe wanting to hide in your shell and like only people want to eyeball out, and hide from the big bad world. Some people may feel like that on that day. And because Jupiter and Pluto are together, Jupiter like amplifies Pluto's energy, and Pluto does rule like the darker side of life and deep dark secrets and stuff, and like what lurks behind the bushes. So the moon opposing that can kind of have our subconscious minds like focused in on stuff like that. So just be aware of that on the 26th, that is popping. Okay. And then on the 26th, the moon actually goes into Leo later in the day. Let's skip ahead. Or in the evening. Is it the 26th? Well, yeah. Okay. So it's like hella. Okay. So here it is. This is hella late at night. Pacific time in the US. But, for a lot of you guys, it can be counted as the 27th. The moon goes into Leo. So the attitude is all over the room of fierceness and voguing and voguing and whacking and all those dances that are just super fierce, that's what I picture with Leo moon energy. So strutting, I always say Leo moon energy is strutting. The last couple of years I have shared with you guys, whenever there's like a hella Leo energy in the air, there's this video of this dude, and he like gets into a cab. He's got to be a Leo, right? Because I think he's wearing like gold or yellow, like a gold or yellow tone outfit, first of all. Okay. And his hair is bleached blonde. And he is just like strutting all fierce and voguing and stuff and like just posing on this taxi cab. And I'm like, somebody get their Leo cousin, because he is doing way too much in these streets. Okay. Because literally it was like he's catching a cab in the street and just voguing, and people are just staring at him like, are you done yet? So I don't know. Leo energy always makes me think of that. So yeah, that's our attitudes while the moon is in Leo for a couple days. Some people's egos can get the best of them and get them out of control and have that attitude like, do you not know who I am? And say some stuff like that. Belittle others, be too regal and holier than thou. But Moon and Leo days are really dope for having a lot of confidence and for being creative. And if you have creative talents or any talent, you do want to strut it. You do want to show it off. You do want to have the feeling like you are a lion and you've got like this fierce mane. You're just like, you know, waving it back and forth about whatever it is that your area of expertise is. So, and actually people do pay more attention to their hair, to their mane, literally, when the moon is in Leo. Like maybe they, I don't know, like make a big fuss about their hair. And I noticed that Leos do Leo very hard. They're Leoing hardcore when the moon is in Leo and posting pictures of themselves with their hair just fierce or saying something about their hair. I'm having a good hair day for some reason. It's because the moon's in Leo, child. That's why. On those days. So, you know, even if you're not a Leo, you still may be Leoing on that day and like just doing a lot of hair flips or taking pictures, feeling yourself, taking more selfies, that type of a vibe. At first, though, when the moon goes into Leo at first, she does make an opposition to Saturn, and that is kind of a Debbie Downer energy. So some people can feel like they're doubting their confidence, they're doubting their abilities, they're doubting themselves, and maybe the more negative sides of Leo can come out, like where you feel like you need applause, you need attention in order to validate yourself. If you're like, hey, this is me, and nobody's paying attention, you can really feel down about it with this opposition happening here. Like, say you post something on social media, like a picture where you think you're just hot shit, right? You know, and it gets like barely any likes or views or whatever. You could be like, oh my god, does this mean I'm ugly and no one likes me? So yeah, some people can have that type of vibe with the moon opposing Saturn. You know, for the first, it's only for like the first several hours of the moon being in Leo that it's like really intense. I would say this energy still lingers on throughout the day and on the 27th. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Too much Gemini in the air, making me blah, 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 talk too fast. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the moon being in Leo. Okay, so on the 28th, this is when Mercury goes into Cancer. Where's he at? With his mischievous little self. Okay, so Mercury goes into Cancer on the 28th. Now, I'm going to talk about Mercury and Cancer because this is very important. It's a little sneak preview into the next like month or so. So Mercury rules communication. It's how we're thinking. It's our logic. It's how we process data and information. It's how we are talking, how we're texting, how we're emailing, DMs, whatever, is all Mercury. Even writing by hand, which is rare nowadays, right? That's ruled by Mercury. So it's got the influence of the sign of Cancer in the mix. So it's a lot more sensitive, a lot more emotional, has a lot more empathy. It's a lot more like you're in your feels about anything or anyone. And you could be really like going hard for people. When people tell their sob stories, while Mercury's in Cancer, you may listen more. Even though there's still a lot of Gemini in the mix, that may make people like, I'm listening, what I call Gemini listening. When I used to be pretty much married to someone that had a lot of Gemini placements, I would always tell him, babe, you're not listening. You're Gemini listening, which means you're picking up a word here, word there, word here, word there. So you can regurgitate those few words back to me if I say, were you listening to me? Or try to give a little feedback, but it's just like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. You said it. It's like, so they can sound on the surface like they were listening, but really they weren't truly listening to the words that were coming out of your mouth. Like, what is that movie? Rush Hour. Yeah. Do you understand? I felt like I had to say that a lot. Like, do you understand? Did you understand the words that were coming out of my mouth? And he'd be like, yes, you said this word, and this word. And I'm like, no, were you listening though? Like, to all the words in between. Did you read between the lines? Did you feel what I said? Did you really listen and hear what I said? a lot of times when there's Gemini placements, Gemini energy in the air, people are not about that life. Their minds are too preoccupied with so many things. There's like 5,000 tabs open in the brain, and they're just like can't help being distracted, and don't want to give eye contact. It's like their eyes are darting and dashing around, or still or on a screen somewhere, but they're like, I'm listening. Oh my gosh, sorry, I was having really bad PTSD flashbacks of my last relationship. Lord have mercy. I felt like so like not listened to a lot dealing with the Gemini, But anyway, when we have Mercury in Cancer in the mix with this energy, there's a higher chance of people actually listening to you. Mercury is a ruling planet of Gemini, so it rules comprehension and words and all that. So people do fully, truly listen to you when Mercury is in Cancer. And if you are speaking about something that is, has a lot of feeling behind it, they will have empathy for that. So that's Mercury in Cancer. Now, the downside to Mercury being in Cancer is, Mercury rules logic, and emotional, like water sign energy is not about logic. Not saying it's not intelligent. It has emotional intelligence, right? Which is different. Emotional intelligence is like you do read between the lines. You pick up on subliminals. You pick up on what's being said that is besides the words. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like little data, metadata. Is that the word? That's hidden within what people are saying. You pick up on that. Like I was explaining to one of my close friends. Shout out to Miss V. She said she listens to my forecasts and we talk all the time now. But I was explaining to her about how, about emotional intelligence. We were talking about this. Mercury in the water signs pick up on all that stuff, But regular logic, like when Mercury's in an air sign like Gemini, it's all about words only. Just strictly words. And I was recalling when I was talking to my homegirl how one time this guy was I think I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I think I was trying to explain to him like I know how he is. I know how he is, and he was like, yeah, right, we haven't even really talked that much yet. And I told him it doesn't matter. And I was thinking, I wanted to say, but he's not really down with the shits, like this stuff, like spiritual things and astrology and everything. But I wanted to say, words are not the only way in which we speak to one another. Like you can pick up on people's energy. You can pick up on things that little nuances about them. Especially when there's water sign energy in the air, or you're made up of water sign energy, you pick up on that stuff. Like you notice people's little behaviors and actions and stuff, and you understand what that means about them as a person, and not just like in a surface level judgmental way. You're like, oh, they must have gone through this to make them this way, yada, 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 stuff like that. Or, oh, maybe they have an absent parent, which causes them to think this way, behave this way, which causes this, which causes that. Like water sign energy can really just intuitively pick up on stuff like that. But when it comes to regular basic logic, though, Mercury in a water sign is not about it. Not about that life. Not about that life. That can be frustrating if you are about logic. You know what I'm saying? I used to deal with somebody very closely that had Mercury in Cancer, and I would try to explain like practical things, like the importance of like thinking of things in a practical way. Like they like to spend money based on emotion a lot, and I would try to explain to them logically that does not make sense for the situation that you're in, for you to do that. And I would try so hard to do things like, okay, let me present to you a plan, a calendar, things like that. They weren't about it. They were just like, oh my God, it's just too much for me. Like to be organized like that, to be practical it was just too much. I can't. So they would just rather go on and just do things based on emotion and only speak based on emotion. In moments to where maybe you do need to have more like logical thinking and problem solving, Mercury and Cancer just couldn't do it. It was just like, well, I feel this way and it's not fair. And that's what they based their decisions on. And I'm like, that's fucking dumb. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not saying that and please don't nobody take my words and think, oh my God, you hate cancers and you think we're stupid. No, I'm just saying personally, I'm a very logical thinker. I'm also very emotional too. Don't get it twisted, okay? I'm both. But you got to know, you have to have awareness of both and try to see both sides if you can. But Mercury in a water sign can make you blinded by emotion is what I'm saying, and only operate on that and not even want to see the practical, logical side of things when maybe it might be totally necessary to in order to get through something or to solve a problem or not cause more problems. So I'm just saying that to say that when Mercury's in Cancer, a lot of people, a lot of us collectively it'll be harder for us to think more in logical terms. We may just say things based on feeling and emotion only. We may make decisions based on that. So we have to be aware. Awareness is key. That's why you guys are here, right? To see what the weather is like, to know how to navigate. Like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to just take a step back because I'm getting too caught up in my feels right now, and I might say something stupid or do something, that will make things worse. So let me just try to separate myself from that. Like, that's the whole point. Okay. So Mercury in Cancer. Logical thinking is going to be more difficult to tap into. It's not impossible. It's just harder. But the good thing is empathy, valuing, like not forgetting about family, your roots, history, being more curious about stuff like that too when Mercury's in Cancer. Photographs, things like photographs and handwritten letters and things like that could be more important to people during this time rather than talking on social media. Like, let me tell you something about cancers too, okay? When Mercury is in Cancer, we may collectively feel this too. A lot of Cancerian energy doesn't really care as much about communication, electronic communication versus in-person communication. Or if it's electronic, it's like a direct phone call. I've known a lot of Cancers very closely in my life, family and, friends and everything. And I've noticed that. Well, unless they have a hella air sign energy like Gemini or Aquarius, then they do take that stuff into account, but just Cancerian energy in general really appreciates people actually showing up at your house to check and see if you're okay, or reaching out with an actual phone call to hear your voice, and they can hear, you hear each other's voices, and if there's something really going on, like, you pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this can help communication in that way to be more direct and be more personal. It's about personal communication versus like just sending someone a meme real quick. Haha. Okay. That's cool. I appreciate you reaching out to me, but like, hey, how are you? How's life? You know what I'm saying? Cancerian energy will ask, do you really truly care? So when Mercury is here, this is how a lot of people could be thinking and hopefully maybe communicating like, yo, I really do care. I'm not just trying to like, ha ha ha, and then flutter away like when it was in Gemini. So, Mercury will be in the sign of Cancer from May 28th until August 4th, okay? Now, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Cancer. Oh my God, I'm not looking forward to that. But, I mean, there's good and bad to the transits, but I'm just saying, like, the feels, oh my gosh. The feels are real with Mercury retro in Cancer. We had Mercury retrograde in Cancer last year in July and August, like towards the end of July and into August of 2019. So if you guys recall that time period and if you know what was going on at that time with you, there can be some repeat themes that come up because it depends on if you have the sign of Cancer, where it is in your birth chart. It depends upon that as far as like what's going to be affected by Mercury retrograde. Okay. So if you can think back to last summer, like what was going on, how did that Mercury retrograde affect you? You could see some things like happen that are similar, if not exactly the same, because all the rest of the stuff is like in different places than last year, but it can give you an idea of what you could possibly be dealing with. So Mercury will be in Cancer, yes, from now through August, you guys. And then it goes retrograde June 17th through July 12th. So, in June, just consider Mercury to be retrograde the whole month of June, because we do have its shadow period that begins like a couple weeks before the actual retrograde date of the 17th. So, yeah. Fun times. Mercury retrograde. We have Venus and Mercury retrograde, y'all, at the same time in the month of June. It's gonna be a trip. But I'll get down to the nitty-gritty, the good and the bad of that, of course, for you guys and what it means. Of course, a lot of you guys that follow me, you already know how I am. I'm sarcastic, I'm goofy, and I'm real about things, but I won't just be a Debbie Downer. I will give the good and the bad of each transit, but I'll still keep it real though, okay? So anyway, that's Mercury in Cancer. On the 28th, it enters here. We do have Mercury with the North Node, though, on this day, on the 28th. Mercury is with the North Node. So what that can do, it could be late on the 27th and into the 28th. Mercury with the North Node is like the direction of the north. You think north, you think up, right? The direction up. So acceleration, achievement, the highest, right? So if Mercury is the mind and what we're thinking about, when Mercury's with the North Node, just in general, we could be thinking more about our highest achievements and how to get there. We can be thinking about goals and where we want to see ourselves in the next such and such years or period of time. People's minds could be going there, especially if you are a Virgo, because for Virgos, Gemini is your 10th house of career and the highest achievement in life and, success and all of that. So Mercury with the North Node up there for Virgos, you guys are really going to be about it, like probably obsessed with your careers and your title and all of that. This week is going to be big time like that for Virgo people. So, just letting you guys know. But for everybody, we may feel like at least a little bit of that. Okay. So next, on the 29th, this is when the moon moves into Virgo on the 29th. Right? What the hell? Oh, yeah. Okay. It was just slow. My bad. I thought I got all my internet's issues fixed here. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So on the 29th, this is when the moon goes into Virgo for a couple days. As I tell you guys every month, Moon and Virgo days are really good for just getting your life in general. I know we always say cleaning, organizing, blah, blah. Yes, I do notice that Virgos are Virgoing hard that day. I always joke with you guys and clown about like I have a lot of Virgo energy in my family, and it's like on that day they decide to clean out cabinets or alphabetize things, and I'm just like, okay. Like my oldest son is a Virgo moon, and he has like hella shelves. He's always been like that. Like he has all these shelves and labels. They're alphabetized and labeled. And I'm like, all right, I mean, hey, your kids get their moon signs from their parents, usually from the mother figure. And I gave him that Virgo moon. So, I mean, I'm not mad at that at all. I think it's dope. And usually on the days when the moon is in Virgo, I'm like, so what are you up to, son? Oh, yeah, organizing and alphabetizing all my CDs and my collections of this, that, and the other. I'm like, all right, cool. Thumbs up, buddy. Go ahead and get your Virgo on. And he knows he's a Virgo moon. He knows only a little bit about this stuff, but he does at least hit me up and asks me like about mostly about like Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde. Like he asks me like, when is it over? When does it start? Because he's already experienced a lot of mishaps with those, to where he listens to mama now. Okay. But anyway, Virgo moon days are good for everybody in general, whether you're a Virgo or not, to get your Virgo on. It's not just like cleaning your house. It is getting your life in order in some sort of way, like bringing order to things. That can be in regards to work, that could be in regards to like your personal life. You may think about things like, dang, even though we're on this in this quarantine lifestyle right now, I still need to have a schedule. I still need to have something that's consistent and routine in order to make me feel sane, and not be just like floating in outer space. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of people can be feeling that, and on the days when the moon's in Virgo, and like trying to do something about it. Um, Virgo moon days, I will be real, there are days where people could be a lot more critical of others and themselves, a lot more judgmental of others and themselves. Like, oh my God, look what they're wearing. What's wrong with them? And why do they do this? That means they're stupid, like stuff like that. Um, Virgo humor. I actually dig Virgo humor a lot. I love Virgos for that, for their humor. People could be cracking a lot more jokes, like clowning on others about little things about them, little nuances, little behaviors, and um, things you notice about people or about yourself. Like people clown about that when there's Virgo energy in the air. Just try not to nitpick at other people or yourselves or anything like that. Just don't do it. I don't know if you guys can recall, but oh my gosh, when I was regularly, why can't I say that word? Regularly on Astrolata, like every week, and people were I noticed that when there was like planets in Virgo, there was this lady who would pop up, the same lady, and she would pop up and be like, "You don't need all that makeup. You don't need all that makeup." And it was like always when the moon was in Virgo. Like one month the moon was in Virgo on the day that I did a broadcast, and she was nitpicking at my makeup. "You don't need all that makeup." I didn't say anything, right? Then the next month, the moon was in Virgo and I did a broadcast again. "You don't need all that." I was like, "Look, lady, we get it. You're a Virgo and you don't like makeup, okay? But I like it." Oh my gosh. So moon and Virgo days, people want things to be natural and more clean. And, I get it. My youngest son is a Virgo. He's a Virgo sun and Mercury and whatever. But when he was really like a toddler, like barely a toddler, but Mercury ruled signs can talk early. They can speak early or just be very like little smart ass little kids, right? So he told me one day, "Mommy, I like your face without makeup because you look more clean." I think he was maybe like 2 years old, and he told me that. Like, oh, and I said, "Of course, my little Virgo." I pat him on the head. So you notice stuff like that, when the moon is in Virgo, like, oh, people just look better as their natural selves. Like, yeah, of course you think that, but some people, everybody perceives themselves differently. Don't judge, okay? Don't be judgy when the moon's in Virgo. All right, just worry about your own life, judge your own life, and get it organized, okay? So the moon is in Virgo from the 29th through the 31st. And then on the 31st, we have the moon moving into Libra. So moon in Libra days. The moon's in Libra, yeah. So pretty much the rest of the day, next Sunday, moon's in Libra, partnership, relationships. Venus is retro. That's a ruling planet of Libra. Venus rules relationships. Venus rules Libra. The moon is in Libra. So people could be thinking even more about their relationships, going within, what do I deserve? What do I like? What do I don't like? What do I not like? I mean, craving partnership and, yeah, maybe wanting to be booed up with somebody some kind of way or something. Okay. Moon and Libra days, yeah, people can be like, "Oh my God, that's not fair." It's about fairness And if you see something off balance or unfair, maybe you want to balance it out or you want to call it out. So that's how Moon and Libra days can go. Maybe you want, like one of my aunties used to say, a running buddy. When I went to visit her a long time ago, she was like, because she lives in another state, so it's like years can go by before I see any of my family besides like my mom and my sister. So I was visiting some family out of state, and one of my aunties was like, I'm going to kidnap you and make you my running buddy for the day. So she had me be her running buddy, which means she had a little partner, to like be in the passenger seat while she ran errands, just to have somebody with her to like exchange conversation with and just to do things with, just to have somebody there. So when the days and the moon is in Libra, you may want a running buddy, even if you just have to run to the store to get something. I mean, it's not really much we can do right now during this time except go to the freaking store. So maybe instead of running errands solo, you want somebody with you, or if it's not physically with you, you want somebody on the phone or on FaceTime or Zoom or something, like while you're doing things, just to have the feeling of partnership in some sort of way. It doesn't have to be lovey-dovey. It can even just be like one of your homegirls, one of your homeboys. Like, you just want to talk. You want an exchange. Libra energy is about one-to-one exchanges between two people. So you may be craving more of that on the days when the moon is here in the sign of Libra. Okay. Now, other than that, you guys, there's no other major transits popping. Unless my mind is working too fast under all this Gemini in the sky and I skipped over things. There's really, the only planetary ingresses that are new, is besides the moon phases, are Mercury moving into Cancer. That's really it. Other than that, you guys, we do still have Mercury. I'm sorry, Venus. She's still squaring Neptune and she's still retrograde. So just, watch my Venus retrograde video and watch my Venus square Neptune video, and those things are going to be in full effect still, trickling throughout the week. And then Venus is building up to a square to Mars. Mars is actually building up to a square to Venus, catching up to Venus. So that can cause some tension between the masculine and the feminine. I think I'll talk more about it next week, because next week this will be a little bit closer in degree, as far as like being this aspect being like really tight, and really potent. Mars and Venus squaring each other. Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Didn't we have this a couple months ago? I swear we did. Mars and Venus squaring. What was that? What signs were they in? I can't even remember. But maybe it was like Mars and Sag, Venus and Pisces or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, actually, let me look for you. Let me look for you guys so we can see. When were Venus and Mars last squaring each other? So we know, like, when was that tension high? And yeah, it was Mars and Sag, Venus and Pisces. Oh my gosh, I remember what was going on during that time. It was not very fun. I mean, like, to be kind of if you're dealing with somebody, if you're dealing with somebody like romantically, Venus and Mars squaring each other, it has its good and bad, like every transit does. It can cause tension that's like good tension that leads to like, ooh, I can't wait to see you, like, that type of tension. But it can lead to like misunderstandings, and we already have Venus retrograde. Oh my God. So it can lead to like tension that causes like you're not on the same page with the person that you're dealing with, whether you're masculine or feminine, doesn't matter. You're not always on the same page with each other. That's what the square can cause. But the tension, the friction, maybe it can lead to some sort of conversation that's much needed to get things out in the open, and maybe to clear the air. Maybe there's tension that's been building up, like you guys haven't been speaking about something that needs to be spoken of, and finally it's like, you know what, I have to say something. And you finally talk about it, and it's like, whoa, and then you do get on the same page. The air is cleared. But with this time, it is Venus and Mars squaring each other. Venus is retrograde, and Venus is also squaring Neptune. And Mars is coming up into a conjunction with Neptune. So there is still that like, oh, and last time Venus was conjunct Neptune. So there can be, if you remember, like the beginning of February, maybe like the end of January, beginning of February, if you had any type of things pop up within your relationships like that, there is a chance they can pop up again. But at least to be forewarned is to be forearmed, right? And you can be prepared for that, to either tread with caution. Is that the term? Tread lightly, or proceed with caution, or just if you would rather avoid conflict, then just keep your mouth shut and avoid conflict, or um just be aware. Just be aware, so that way if there is like a blow up or something, you're just like, oh my god, okay, this is just this time period bringing this out. Let's try to navigate the waters, maybe to be a little smoother or something. I don't know, it's up to you and your situation, but just letting you guys know, yeah, Venus and Mars are building up to a square to one another, and then all this Neptune in the mix. Oh my god. Hopefully nobody experiences any weirdo stuff, mofos ghosting and being weird and shit like that. Like, geez Louise. That is on. I told you guys I was going to be on high this month. People are just weird. Just so weird this month. I swear, like everybody I've talked to who's dating one way or the other, either they're just like, they just meet somebody and they're talking to them and getting to know them, or they actually are in a relationship. Things are just weird this month. So if any of those things apply to you, just hang on, you guys. But hey, that's why I'm a hermit. I'm hermiting away with the chastity belt, just going on about my life. Like, leave me alone. I've only had a couple weirdos pop up randomly just to talk about nothing, actually text about nothing, and then flutter off and disappear again. I knew that was going to happen this month, so it's like I'm not surprised, but then again, I'm like, the stupidity of it all with this month is just too real. So hopefully you guys are good out there. But anyway, that's it, you guys, for the forecast for May 24th through the 31st of 2020. I hope you guys are good out there, and just stay tuned for the stuff that I have planned. I said the word plan. Hopefully Uranus doesn't throw a lightning bolt into my plans, but just stay tuned, stay posted. And I do follow me on Instagram. I am just kind of a little more low key right now on there for mental health reasons. We all have to take a break like that sometimes, but I'm not going nowhere. Okay, just a little break. But my Instagram is Cosmic Homegirl, and I post astrological transits and memes and jokes and info on there all the time. So yeah. All right, guys, have a good week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.